And welcome fans, friends, and family. The Friday Night Lights are ablaze here in North Texas and on the Texas 24/7 television network for this week number 3 TAPS Conference non-district matchup between the visiting 1-1 Fort Worth All Saints and the undefeated home team tonight hosting the 2-0 Trinity Christian Cedar Hill Tigers. High atop Charles Baldwin Tigers Stadium. My name is Ken Buckner, and graced again for the second straight week. We had so much fun last week. Somehow we coaxed him to coming back in, but standing next to me is Glenn Stretch Smith, and we, Glenn, are looking at a pretty talented group and a talented matchup tonight.
It's going to be a good game. We've got, it's a shame that Roderick Weaver looks like he's on a little scooter, the receiver from Trinity, and we're already a little banged up early into the season. But I'll tell you what, as we start this game, my mind goes to, you said 78% humidity. I think you can put a 1 in front of that, and literally I'm watching Dion right now on the 18-yard line. He's trying to tamp down there where they've been, where they were getting loose. But I also saw Coach Beck over there, and he looked like he had some, I don't know if those were fishing waders or hunting boots, but it's wet on their sidelines.
Actually, he was pretty proud of those, Coach Aaron Beck. He said, I'm the old man tonight, but I became prepared because this is my 34th year of coaching. I know how this thing works. Yeah, the field is in a soppy condition, to say the least, and we'll track that progress throughout the night. By the way, All Saints won the toss and deferred to the second half, so we will see the 2-0 Trinity Christian Cedar Hill offense get off the gates early. And of course, this is quote-unquote Dion's team. Deion Sanders, his second year here as the offensive coordinator. He's not the head coach. A lot of people think he is. That would be Troy Williams, interim head coach this year in his first year. Of course, Avion Cason, former Cowboy as well, was the head coach last year for the Tigers. He moved on to Florida in the IMG Academy. But Deion Sanders, boy, his thumbprint is all over this team.
Well, and it is all over this team. He's obviously, knows what he's doing, and they've got a good
for the Tigers.
Guys, now, they are small from a numbers scheme standpoint, Ken, and I think that's going to play a big factor in tonight's game when, All Saints, we're All Saints guys, and we see them conditioning. We see what a great job they do conditioning. I think it's going to come big into play tonight against hey, they're big. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at their offensive line, and they are a big group of guys. So, tell you what, they better be hydrated because it's going to be flowing out of them tonight.
38 players, that's all that's on the varsity roster for Trinity Christian Cedar Hill tonight. You compare that to nearly 60 for All Saints, or really any other high school that's in the state of Texas. But the Saints hoping to bounce back. They're 1-1 on the year. A heartbreaking 27-20 loss against the Regent School out of Austin last week in rainy conditions. An opportunity they had at the goal line to punch it in from 1 yard out with 4 seconds left on the clock. Weren't able to do it. By the way, Coach Beck said earlier this week on the Aaron Beck Coaches Show right here on this network, he said, you know what, if we'd have got in, we would have went for 2 on that. So I don't know if that's a little salt in the wound, Saints Nation, or just a little tidbit of information. And now as for the Tigers, they took a 13-hour bus trip, 26-hour round trip to Tallahassee, Florida last week. That game nationally televised against the Baby Rattlers of Florida A&M High School. Boy, and it was really a cakewalk. It wasn't a pretty game, certainly not a finesse win. They did it the ugly way, but it ultimately translated to a 45-8 victory for Trinity Christian.
And it was ugly. I took a few glimpses of it. You know what? It's time to turn the page from a tale of two halves last week for All Saints, an ugly win for Trinity, to what we got ready to kick off here.
And it will be the freshman, Andrew Lynn, his first kickoff of the season. Edward Bautista had been doing the duties previously, but the freshman will use his right foot. Meanwhile, back deep is Shiloh Sanders, the elder son of Deion Sanders on this crew. He is wearing the number 21 on your screen. He will most likely field this ball. He's also joined by Dwight McLaughlin, a very speedy junior wide receiver.
21 wearing his dad's number. You know what? They don't need to kick this down the middle, and they don't. Yeah. Kick it high, and
there you go. The directional kicking of Andrew Lynn, precisely, and fair caught at the 25-yard. We're going to do our best with the yard markers tonight, too, because already the chalk is starting to erode.
And you're right. It's a 25-yard line, and I thought that was well placed, and it was a good kick.
And here comes the sophomore, also Dion's son, the quarterback, Shador Sanders, 6 foot, 180 pounds, as they back this ball up just a little bit to put it directly nose first on the 25-yard line. And Shador has got all of the tools, in fact, in many ways, well beyond his years as a quarterback and as a sophomore. But the power of this offense for the Tigers is the running game.
And that's exactly what they're going to try to do right here off the bat. They're in 2 tights, 2 backs. They're going to try to line up and really get after it north and south.
And the handoff goes up to Quaylon Jones, and he runs to the right side, a gain of about 5 for the Baylor commits.
Number 6, Quaylon Jones on the carry.
Nice
play by number 30,
job by Feld to run up and run the alley there, get him on the ground. Let's get this game going. Trinity's trying to speed it up. They're in a full house backfield now.
Goodness. Yeah, making no bones about it, they will be running, and the Saints stop this one at the line. No gain for the running back. That's the other senior in the backfield, Jamarvin Hartfield.
And that's also the first-time starter in 57, Alex Nelson, in there, anchoring the defensive line for All Saints.
All 290 pounds of the junior Alex Nelson. 3rd down and 4, and busted in the backfield and still powering his way through, but nowhere close, about 3 yards shy of the first down.
Nice job again. Bautista in there. Really good job by All Saints not getting pushed around. Hey, they ain't going to have to bow their neck tonight because it looks like Dion and his offensive group is going to try to come out and bloody their nose. Or they're going to go for this on 4th down.
Well, last week against Florida A&M High School, they did not punt a single time. And it appears Shador Sanders is also the punter at times, but for a 4th down and 2, it's being registered, and the handoff goes to Jones. He's stymied in the backfield momentarily, tries to break it to the edge, slips on that turf, and he's a yard short.
Nice job by Thompson. Nice job coming up. It looked like that was that 14 Thompson that came up and got him out of bounds. Again, running into that sideline over there where it was really wet. They thought they could get him outnumbered into the boundary. Great job by All Saints and the All Saints defense in pursuit.
So that gives All Saints brilliant field position from the Tigers' 33-yard line. Just underway here, no score, and the Saints' first offensive possession with 10:27 left to go in the first quarter. 3 wide receivers, split left, and the 2 marquee receivers on that left side for Clark Hillman, the junior. But he goes right, and he throws to Jacob Matlock out of the backfield, and that's good for about 8 out of bounds.
Nice job by Jacob. Nice throw by Hillman. Hey, it was interesting. Now they're in a 4-2, and they walk what is in a sense that nickel guy out there. They are topping Money Parks. They're not going to let Money get a free release.
A lot of talent on both of these squads, as we mentioned, but a lot of two-way players as a whistle. We'll stop the play before it begins. And we'll see what that's all about. And it may be an equipment issue. And here comes Wyatt Mertz to sub in for Money Parks in the slot. Same formation. The Saints stick with it on a 2nd down and 2.
And Ken, it looked like they wanted hid pads over his knees. You called that. They took him out of the game because of an equipment issue.
2nd down and 2, handoff to Matlock. He goes and slips to the left side, but good enough for a 1st down by about a half a yard.
And they are moving the chains. Try to hit it up inside with a little draw. Try to catch those big defensive ends moving up the field.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 for All Saints from the 22-yard line as they wait for the yard markers to move along. And that was an issue last week that really slowed the pace of the Saints offense down.
They got him off sides here. Got a free play. Oh, they blew it dead. Good job with the snap count. They get them off sides. Well, All Saints right now, what are we, 3 minutes into this football game? All Saints looks dialed in, don't they? They look dialed in offensively. They get them on a 4 and out, get the ball in plus territory. And after last week's game where it took them a half to get going, you'd like to see them get going right here. Why are they moving us back here?
Yeah, now we're doing the hokey pokey, and here we go, 5 yards the correct direction. So 1st and 5 for All Saints. And that is certainly what Coach Beck said on the coach's show earlier this week. He said, boy, above all offensively, I just want some sort of rhythm. Clock resumes running. 9:45 left to go in the opening frame. And almost jumping off sides again on a hard count by Clark Hillman is the nose guard, Valentin Reyes, but he holds pat. Matlock shifts over in the backfield. 4 wide spread. Money Park's back in the game. And it's a little swing out to Jacob Matlock, and he's hit as he, I don't know if the mud took him down more or if it was on that play Dwight McLaughlin.
He did slide. You know, they tried to get it outside on a little swing route to him, get Money and Donche out there blocking their guys. And again, once you get towards the boundary to either sideline, it is so slick out there. It is, you know, it's just, this is going to be a north and south football game tonight.
Gain of 1 yard on the play, sets up a 2nd down and, well, they're giving him a little more. 2nd down and 2, a long 2. Play action, no, it's handed off to Matlock, and he's spun in the backfield, and a nice little collision there. Marquise Buford.
3rd and short. They're trying to get these defensive ends, Ken, to get up the field. And I tell you what, oh, we got a flag now. Who are they? Interesting here. This is a late flag, too.
Dead ball foul on Trinity Christian.
Looked like a sideline warning, didn't it? Did you get that feeling? He was kind of...
Well, we mentioned the size of the roster. There's not much on the sideline for Trinity Christian.
No, they got about 4 coaches that weigh 350.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
And that will walk the Saints. I think we were in half the distance territory there, so the ball will be on the 5 with a 1st and goal for All Saints.
And here they are. They're trying to get this going. You can tell Coach Beck wants he wants in rhythm with his offense.
Straight up pass over the middle. Mitch Bothwell, the tight end, and a touchdown. All Saints.
They run a double cross. You know, that was a really good job. Bothwell and Money cross. They kind of got a natural pick in there. He dumped that ball to Bothwell. Great job by All Saints right here, taking the football right down the field after getting a big possession turnover and going and scoring.
Boy, and how hard is that to defend on a field that is soggy as this, to even get your footing on if you're a defender, to try to play off a pick.
Yeah.
Here comes Junior Bautista, and he boots this one sky high and straight through the uprights. And the Saints on their opening offensive possession with 8:42 remaining in the first quarter have the lead, 7-0. All Saints. Tigers with the ball after this on the Texas 24/7 television network.